Straight ahead on the news at 10, a break in a nearly 2-year-old murder mystery. Police arrest a suspect in the murder of Dan Markel. Plus, celebrating the 60th anniversary of the Tallahassee bus boycott. We'll take you to the march and celebration. And we'll tell you why these local students spent today clowning around. Your Fox 49 News at 10 starts now.
This is Fox 49 News at 10, North Florida and South Georgia's home for local news, weather, and sports. Now, Fox 49 News at 10.
This man, Sigfredo Garcia, has been arrested for a 2014 murder that rocked the city of Tallahassee. He's accused in the murder of FSU law professor Dan Markel. Garcia was arrested last night at a gas station at Hallandale Beach. That's in Broward County. It's also nearly 500 miles from the scene of the murder. Police say Markel was targeted, shot in the head, all while sitting in his car in the garage of his Benton Hills home. At a press conference today, TPD thanked the FBI for its help and said Garcia would soon be brought back to Tallahassee to face charges.
Anytime someone is injured or murdered, it affects us all. It's an atrocity and should not be happening in our community. It does bring us satisfaction, but again, it will never ever take the horror away of losing a family member.
TPD would not comment today on a motive for the murder or what led to Garcia's arrest nearly 2 years later. The chief announced court papers with those details have been sealed by a judge and said the investigation is not yet over. Meanwhile, Markel's neighbors are relieved by Garcia's arrest. Our Alicia Turner got a chance to speak with some of them today as news swept through the community.
July 2014, investigators from multiple agencies combed through this home on Trescott Drive, looking for clues as to who shot 41-year-old Dan Markel. Now a suspect is finally in custody.
Hallelujah. Thank you.
Lee Johnson lives down the street. He's relieved after hearing about the arrest. 34-year-old Sigfredo Garcia is now facing murder charges, a move this community's been waiting on for nearly 2 years.
I'm really grateful, like that they can breathe a sigh of relief.
Neighbors say to this day, it's still shocking to think what happened so close to their home.
Kind of shattering to your whole psyche when you have someone 3 houses down from you in a neighborhood like this just get killed in their driveway.
Many say they thought the case had gone cold.
It would definitely be more difficult for something like this to be possible after that much time has passed.
What was that person doing on the street and available to commit a murder in summer of 2014?
Sigfredo Garcia's criminal history dates back to 1997. While his recent arrest doesn't change what happened here, residents say it helps them move forward.
We drive by it every day, and you, of course, think of him all the time, particularly his young sons and his students. He was quite beloved as an FSU law professor.
A professor, father, and friend neighbors believe was taken way too soon.
Neighbors and many others say they are still anxious to find out what led to Garcia's arrest and what will happen next. One person is dead tonight after a car crash in Thomas County. It all happened around 2:40 this afternoon on Highway 19. According to the Thomas County Sheriff's Office, it was a 2-car crash. The northbound lanes of Highway 19 were closed while crews cleared the scene. Those have since reopened. Right now, there's no word on that person's identity. A grand jury has indicted a Tallahassee man for the murder of a 10-month-old baby. DeJuan Barnes was indicted today for first-degree murder and aggravated child abuse. Barnes was arrested May 6th for the death of his girlfriend's son. He called 911 and told police the child was throwing up. The medical examiner later said the baby suffered a severed aorta and a snapped spinal cord. A Leon County student is under arrest for making a bomb threat. The sheriff's office says the Lincoln High School student posted the threat last night on the social media site Snapchat. The message said it would happen in 12 hours. Deputies tracked down the student who told them it was all meant to be part of an end-of-the-year prank. But investigators say it's no laughing matter.
Sometimes it's a rite of passage that these kids do with these pranks and jokes. But again, anything as it relates to public safety, any threats to public safety, bombs, guns, anything that has to do with violence and public safety on school campuses will not be tolerated.
The 15-year-old now faces a felony charge. A day of remembrance and pride as the Tallahassee community celebrates a civil rights milestone. Earlier today, leaders hosted a march to recognize the anniversary of the Tallahassee bus boycott. Today actually marks 60 years since the civil rights protests began in the capital city. Our Lenitra Bennett has more on the celebrations.
These community pioneers can smile as they get off the bus. They remember when they weren't allowed to sit on one wherever they wanted.
I remember how bad it was.
Thursday's bus ride was in honor of the one on May 26, 1956. Two FAMU students, Wilhelmina Jakes and Carrie Patterson, sat in the whites-only section and refused to move. They were arrested, and it led to the Tallahassee bus boycott.
We are people too. We're not dogs. We're going to sit anywhere we need to sit on this bus. And you know the rest of the story.
People united will never be defeated.
A symbolic walk was held observing the 60th anniversary of the bus boycott. A few dozen people started the march from FAMU's Grand Ballroom. The symbolic walk ended at the overpass near Bruno and FAMU Way. There, a ceremony was held recognizing 12 civil rights activists. Henry Steele's father, Reverend C.K. Steele, was one of them.
When I think about it, I become emotional sometimes because it was something else.
In honor of the anniversary, Star Metro is offering free bus rides until the end of the day. The commemorative bus will be in operation as a tribute throughout the year. Switching gears now, it's an ambitious fundraising goal. The Children's Advocacy Center of Lowndes County wants to raise $250,000. The money's needed to build a new facility double the size of their current one. Center managers say there's a great need for more space because of a growing number of cases. In 2015 alone, the center served more than 700 abused children. The center hosted that fundraising concert this evening. Well, you may have seen a lot of red noses around the area. That's because today is Red Nose Day. Red Nose Day is a campaign with many participating corporations to help end child poverty. Earlier today, students and staff at FAMU DRS came together with their red noses. They were showing their support for the Red Nose campaign. School officials say the campaign has a very important message for their students.
This takes a message to them to not only think about yourself, but always strive to help others.
Childhood poverty is a big deal in our country, and it's our way of doing our part to say that we care as a company.
And we'd love to see your pictures if you celebrated Red Nose Day. You can hashtag those to Fox 49 on Twitter or Facebook. Still to come on Fox 49 News at 10, the Zika outbreak has officials scrambling to get mosquitoes under control as those temps start to warm up. And speaking of warm temps, we need to send things over now to Chief Meteorologist Mike McCall with a look at our Thursday night forecast. Is it still a little warm out there, Mike?
It is, and we're not going to get a whole lot of relief from that anytime soon, but if we got some more rain, that might help. We've got some storms to our west, and we're still watching this possible tropical development out here in the Atlantic. I'll tell you how it all fits into the forecast when we come back.